This episode is brought to you by SD Sober Living. If you or someone you know needs a safe, supportive recovery home, then reach out to SD Sober Living at www.sdsoberliving.org or call 619-334-9869. That's 619-334-9869. Come get some fuck fentanyl and some San Diego recovery at SD Sober Living. Hey everyone, I want to take a moment to talk about something really important, mental health and addiction. If you or someone you know is struggling with mental health or drug addiction, especially if they're facing chronic relapses or have a history of bouncing in and out of treatment centers, I want to recommend Baja Rehab. Baja is a premier lockdown treatment center located just 45 minutes from the San Diego border in beautiful Mexico. I've had the opportunity to visit their facility, and I can tell you firsthand, it's not only stunning, but also equipped with everything needed for recovery. They offer comprehensive medical detox and have a dedicated team of drug counselors and specialized therapists. If you are ready to take the first step towards healing, call Shalom, the intake director, at 619-855-6368. That's 619-855-6368. Your loved ones deserve a second chance, so don't wait until it's too late. Reach out to Baja Rehab today. This is the Fuck Fentanyl guy letting you know if you or a loved one is injured in a motorcycle accident, then call 1-800-Lawtigers for a free case evaluation. We are available 24/7. That's 1-800-Lawtigers with over $1.5 billion recovered in verdicts and settlements. Nobody got your back more than Lawtigers. Yeah.
Such a good song.
Hell yeah. I couldn't help but play it a little longer than normal.
I was hoping you would.
That is Dreams from Fleetwood Mac. And I'm Luis Romero. I'm the Fuck Fentanyl guy. And this is the Fuck Fentanyl podcast. I have a really amazing guest right here. Miss Jenn Schwager.
Schwager.
I
know. That's okay.
Jenn Schwager.
Yes, there you go.
There you go.
That's me.
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Oh, happy Thanksgiving,
Yes.
right? Thank you I know, right? Thank you so much for coming on,
Of
especially
course.
During the holiday.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
That's awesome. And man, real quick too, Jenn is actually an author of a self-help book. Recalibration: How to Reset When Shit Hits the Fan.
Yes.
So cool. That's so rad. And thank you for this book.
Yeah,
so cool.
Of course. For those listening, I have some hard copies available. I just have them in my room. I'll give them for free. I don't care. But also,
cool.
I'm on Amazon too if you feel inclined.
Yes. Well, that's awesome. What? When did you write this book?
Oh man, I think so. It took about 2 years, start to finish, including like the ideation and everything like that. But I think I published in 2021. I can't remember at this point. Like late 2021, early 2022. So it's been a couple years, and I haven't written anything since, but I'm feeling like the itch to do it again.
It.
And I will be 28 next week, and I published this when I was 22 or 23.
That's really impressive.
Thank you. And so I feel like it's a little bit cringe for me to go back and read it because I'm like, oh, I've grown so much as a woman and as a writer. I was just having this conversation last night actually with friends, but I think there's some really good shit in there. And I wrote it from just genuinely wanting to help others. And I share about my brother in it. And it's not all about grief, but it's just kind of like my evolution. And I've interviewed a couple people and research is in there. So, and it's like having a conversation with a friend. I cuss in there, like the way that I would speak to girlfriends and just chilling here too. So
casual conversation.
I think I'm proud of it for who, how young I was when I published it.
Absolutely.
And did everything. Yeah.
That's
Thank
amazing.
you. Thank you.
That's awesome. And, I guess we'll just start a little bit of your background, if you don't mind. You grew up here in San Diego?
No, I grew up in New Hampshire, actually. Yeah, so all the way tucked in the eastern portion of the country.
No way.
Northeast, yeah. So it was a smaller town in New Hampshire. It's called Amherst. So it's about 40 minutes north of Boston in Massachusetts. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I moved out here for college, and I've been here almost 10 years now.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
What college did you try to go to?
I went to San Diego State.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And then my family slowly moved out west in the last 5 or so years. So my parents are in Arizona now.
Oh, okay.
My younger brother is in downtown San Diego.
Cool.
And my sister and her husband split their time between Canada and Arizona.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
That's pretty interesting.
Very different, yeah.
That's funny. Do they like the dual citizenship thing, or is it just?
Well, he's Canadian.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and his children are in Canada for the most part, so they split their time between both places. But he just got his visa and stuff approved, so he's in the States now. Literally as of 3 weeks ago.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I got a little love for Canada. They are. That's actually a country that massively supports my brand. Actually.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
Yeah. Massive. I did not see that coming because I have no connection.
Yeah.
I have one family member that moved there briefly, but other than that, it was I was really surprised how much people in Canada really love fuck fentanyl.
Super cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
awesome.
More than I thought.
And when did you start Fuck Fentanyl?
It started in July 14th, 2022.
Okay.
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah, that was the official I made it a thing.
And what made you want to start it?
Well, it started tragically, of course.
Yeah, of course.
Well, to backtrack it to just a little bit of a build up, I'm a heroin addict.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw that the fentanyl epidemic was really rising in 2018-19, and they actually took heroin off the street.
Yeah.
And fentanyl was king,
Yep.
And then so a lot of my friends were dying, and they're getting hooked on fentanyl.
Yeah.
So it was always in the back of my head, because I was able to somewhat glamorize and. I mean, when I was younger, I'm talking about when I was younger. I was able to glamorize and glorify heroin use. But, with fentanyl, it was just oh, my God, fuck that. It's fucking just,
it's
you know
gnarly.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Right? It's the gnarliest of the gnarly. And so it was really easy to just, go fuck that shit. And then when, it started getting more personal, you know what I mean? When three of my using friends had died within a month of each other.
I'm sorry.
And then one of them was my best friend who I started, my my journey of heroin with. And then, we were best friends in high school, and we were really, really tight. So when he died, it really, really messed me up. So I saw the design, and then we made stickers.
Yeah.
And then we passed out stickers for free.
Nice.
Just hitting it over San Diego. And then the clothing brand started in July 2022. It was on my best friend's heavenly birthday.
Oh, that's really sweet.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for your loss.
No, well, thank you. And it's funny because it wasn't really intended to be a big thing. I just wanted to make a box of t-shirts,
Yeah, that's the beauty of it.
Right.
That's how a lot of these things start and they grow.
Right.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, but that was the start of it all.
Okay, yeah.
And then it kind of got international real quick.
Yeah.
Real quick. I was like, what?
Can I ask you a question?
Sure, you ask
and
me.
I'm not trying to hijack the interview.
No, go ahead.
I'm just curious.
I know you. I got you.
What is, I guess, like from an addict's perspective or from the people you've spoken to who've done both heroin and fentanyl, like what is the difference between the two, and why does the fentanyl that we see in the streets today start to hook them even more?
Oh.
If you know.
No. I know. I definitely am a little informed of it from many interviews.
Yeah.
And honestly, just like my buddies would always even tell me, even before I started a clothing brand, it seems like there's two different types of fentanyl.
Yeah.
So let's just get that out of the way. So there's medical fentanyl that hospitals use to this day.
Yep.
Like if you're in pain, they just give it to you.
Yes.
They won't tell you. Sometimes they will, but for the most part they don't.
Yeah.
So there's that, and there's really nothing wrong with that, because usually a doctor will.
It's controlled.
Yes, for pain management, and and there's obviously ones with higher dosage that they give to cancer patients and people with severe, like pretty much people that are ready to die. They'll give them those like patches and lollipops and stuff like that.
Yep.
And then what we got here is the street fentanyl.
Yes.
Which it's still debated, right? Where it's really coming from, what's the source? Some people say Mexico, some people say China.
I've heard both.
Russia.
And I know it's like in pill form,
yes.
like the blue pills.
Yes.
And then I know it's in powdered form.
Yes.
Also.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it seems like the powder form is the one that people really get hooked on.
That's what
the most.
I feel like I've heard more of the overdose stories from. Yeah.
And it's typically it's not controlled. The manufacturer of this street drug doesn't make it the same.
Yeah.
It's always different.
Uh-huh.
And that's always been the case with illegal street drugs, but with fentanyl, because it's so much more potent, it's just a lot more unpredictable.
Yes.
And it just like, it could even be like a cross-contamination thing too.
Exactly. And a lot of cocaine and things like that.
Yeah.
And I swear overnight I just started seeing like people call it the fent lean or the fent folds.
Yeah. They call them folders in Hemet.
Yeah, because I volunteered I was on the board of a nonprofit that helped the unhoused community in downtown San Diego. So I was volunteering and like walking around East Village a lot.
Oh, no way.
And I swear just in a month's time, everyone was folded over, and they weren't before. I saw at least. And we were going down there pretty like consistently, handing out like food, water, hygiene supplies, and resources if they wanted it. It's definitely an eye-opening experience to go volunteer and like get some face-to-face time with these people and their children too. There's a lot of children. Yeah, I know. On the streets. Yeah.
It's really rough.
It's tough. Yeah. Here and Arizona, because I've seen them like by my parents' place and stuff too. Yeah.
What part of Arizona? Like Phoenix?
They're in Scottsdale now, but they've moved around like the Phoenix area since they moved out. They're just renting and figuring out where they want to go. So right now they're in a little bit more of like an uppity community, but before they've lived in like 4 other places since they moved. So and I have friends who live in the state of Arizona, but the city. So the college area and just kind of around.
I see.
Yeah. So I've seen it over the years kind of expand. Yeah.
It's wild. And like, when people did heroin, your neck would be kind of like that. Yeah. Kind of like sideways and tilted, but not the whole body. Yeah. That's because I guess that's the xylazine that deprives your spine, your fluids in your spine. And also deprives your body of healing particles. Ooh. So if you get like a little cut, it's fucked. Like you might have to chop your whole limb off. Yeah,
and that's especially being on the streets.
And that's a possibility.
Yes, and I follow some other pages on TikTok and stuff. Similar to like the Fuck Fentanyl pages, just in other cities where they do interviews with people who
Kensington
are homeless and stuff. I don't know if I've seen the Kensington one, but there's one in Arizona. I'll share the profile with you.
Yeah,
this guy's super rad, and he follows like recovery stories too from people he helped on the streets.
Nice,
but a lot of them have had like really bad sepsis and like bacterial infections and it's rough. It's fucking bad. Yeah, it's terrible.
But but yeah, I mean, it's just like, I guess something that the manufacturer makes on these street drugs, it makes it much more addictive than your typical any other street drug. It's really weird. I'm not sure how long this is gonna happen. And also the other thing too is that for some weird reason, and this was never a thing, at least for me and my experience, but like they're deliberately lacing fentanyl in some stuff like a pill, like that's not intended to be an opiate at all, like a Xanax.
Oh no.
Yeah, and oh my god, it's the worst thing ever when you when you go to these events where it's like they're raising awareness for Kills Club. People lost their kids.
Yeah.
From a Xanax. That's laced with fentanyl. It's dope. They call it fentanyl poisonings rather than overdoses.
That makes sense.
What it is,
in like the context, that makes complete sense. Yeah. But, that is scary.
Yeah. It's crazy. I'm actually about to go to one pretty soon in Seal Beach.
Okay, cool. I went to I forget the name of the organization that puts it on, but I went to one in Hillcrest a couple years ago.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, I don't know if it was like the same exact event like you're talking about, but it was an awareness event. Yeah. They taught us how to administer Narcan.
Oh, really?
Not that it's like super complex, but I didn't know how.
No,
and also like where to get it from.
Yeah.
I know you can get it at certain drugstores if I'm not mistaken, but there were a lot of people with like a lot of resources there. And at one point, obviously too, you're not going to go to one of these events if you don't have a personal connection. Like most people wouldn't just like pop up. You'd hope in their heart that they would, but most people are there because they have a personal loss connected to the story. And everyone raised their hand when the MC asked if you lost someone, and there was like 250 people there. Wow. Some of them were like really fresh losses, as in like the last week or two. Some were older, like mine. Right. So, it's just it's taken on a life of its own. Yeah, fentanyl, especially over the last. It'll be in May 17 years since my brother died from fentanyl. So that was 2008. Wow. So now we're here almost 2026, and the problem is just everywhere. It wasn't really a thing back then.
No. 2008.
2010s, it wasn't a thing. Yeah.
That was when it was like the heroin side of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like I didn't get to participate in the OxyContin thing that was blowing up in the early 2000s, but I definitely was in the heroin part. Yeah. When people couldn't afford those pills, and they were like, oh, heroin's cheaper.
And have you seen the show on Hulu, Dope Sick?
Mm-hmm.
Great show.
Yeah. I have.
Horrifying subject matter.
Absolutely.
It's devastating. But that show really taught me a lot about like the oxy.
Yeah.
And what, I was aware of like the pharmaceutical industry and what they were doing. And I'm also one of those people who firmly believes like, not to get political, but our government like keeps us sick. And the chemicals in our food and healthcare is so expensive. Everything is just a profit for them, which is so fucking awful. Like even
we're a customer on both sides.
Yeah, like carcinogens and like makeup and just all these things that you wouldn't really think about in your day to day. It's in there. Yeah. So pick and choose your battles. It's hard to like be 100% clean from those things because it's in every facet of our lives. Yeah. But that show was super eye-opening to kind of the business side and kind of just how evil it can be.
Oh, yeah.
And just showcasing the different stories. I know it's a fictional show, but of course those are real life.
Those are for sure like
instances that happen every day still.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. So that show is really great for those listening if you haven't seen
it. Check it out. Check it out. That is a good one. I remember watching it. Oh my God. So you grew up in pretty much the East Coast, and you weren't really exposed to any like drugs and alcohol.
No, I mean,
over there.
I'll set the stage. I grew up in a like affluent town, predominantly white neighborhoods, but I wasn't wealthy by any means, like firmly middle class. But I was going to high school with like a lot of kids who would like pull up on the lot with like Range Rovers. And I just thought that was normal, but it was not. No. And so I feel like through that I was exposed to some partying because I saw like, oh, they have multiple houses, and you'd go to like a lake house, or their parents were at the lake house and their house in town was open. So they'd have parties, but there was never any hard drugs there.
Yeah, like drinking.
It was mainly just pot and drinking.
Sure.
And obviously, you know, my brother died when I was 10. So when I was going to these parties, I had lost him already. So I was going to them kind of with a different perspective. Just being a little bit more mindful. Absolutely. But I definitely like experimented and participated in those things. It didn't stop me from doing that. But that's really all I saw. And in the town, I'm sure there were adults, kids too, who probably struggled with like prescription pill addiction, but I was not aware of any of that. And then alcoholism runs in my family. My dad's an alcoholic. And then, you know, the more, I don't want to say, what's the right word? Like, I guess the neighboring towns that weren't so affluent, they had a little bit more of a substance issue. But I wasn't really in those crowds, and I wasn't in those towns that much, so I wasn't seeing it. But that's kind of what was going on when I was growing up.
I see. Got it.
Yeah.
And wow. I guess let's go straight to it though. So your brother passed away fairly young.
Yeah. 18
years old.
Yeah, his name was Evan.
Evan.
Yes.
Wow. And what happened to him? What led him to having an overdose?
Yeah. So I mean, as I've gotten older, I've learned like more and more pieces of the story.
Absolutely.
Because I was so young, and my younger brother was 7 and my older sister was 15. So we were all at really different ages.
So he was the big brother.
Yeah, he was. So he was 18, 15, 10, and 7 when he passed away.
Got it.
And so at the time, my perspective was that it was like a one-off situation. And actually the day of his death, when he was in the hospital, I can walk you through the whole story, but my parents told me it was like an asthma attack.
Really?
Because he had asthma.
Okay, yeah. And that's kind of what it is.
And anyways, as like a young kid, I don't even know, you know, now I know my parents were like, wait, what the fuck is going on? Right. You know, they didn't know what was going on. And so my dad, this was his son from a previous marriage.
Got it.
So Evan split his time between my dad's house with us and then his mom's house.
Yeah.
So the night before, on May 9th, 2008, he went to a house party. He was a senior in high school. He was a month away from graduating, and he was set to go to college in Oregon at Southern Oregon University to study environmental law.
Wow,
and he was an honor roll student. He had a girlfriend. So he wasn't like a bad kid, but he had some rebellious streaks, as one does at that age.
Right, absolutely.
But he went to this house party, and basically like what happened is it was medical fentanyl.
Got it.
So someone from a hospital stole patches.
Really?
Like a worker.
Really?
They stole patches.
So
and
they can sell it?
They sold them.
Okay, got it.
And so the person who bought them, he was 19 at the time. So he bought the patches, and then he brought them to this house party.
And did this person, I guess it would be hard for you to say, but did they know like this is like really strong stuff, or they're just like, well,
the person who bought them?
Yeah.
Because I'm assuming the person who sold them originally definitely knew if they were a hospital
for sure,
worker. And I don't even know who that person was.
I see. I got it.
I do know the name of the person who bought them because he ended up doing time actually.
I see. Definitely.
But I don't know if he knew how strong it was.
Yeah, okay. I guess I was just kind of curious.
We may never know.
Yeah,
the answer,
right.
But
like, what made him
exactly
bring this stuff to a party?
Yeah, or how he even knew of that. You know, because
it's not really. It wasn't a household name.
no, like it is now. You know. So he brought the patches to this high school party. And a lot of people have asked me over the years, like, well, what were the parents thinking? You know, and you don't blame the parents of who owned the home, right? Because so many kids were, they'd rather see their kids drink under their roof, with no keys involved, no driving. They could monitor it, like if something happened.
It's safe, you feel safe.
Yeah, and whatever, like that's not my main concern. But how the hell are they supposed to know someone brought fentanyl in their house?
No,
you're not looking through everyone's backpack, and the patches are small. Like how the fuck are you supposed to know? So anyway, I have heard that at the party, Evan was getting a little bit like of an ego, just thinking he could like drink more and
Sure.
like take these things.
Sure, yeah,
and,
yeah, it's like a typical.
I heard
kid.
from his friends, like they were saying like maybe you shouldn't do that, you know. And
I see.
And he was like, "Fuck off! Like I'm gonna do what I want," kind of thing.
Man.
Yeah, and I also believe he got
Yeah.
into a fight with his girlfriend that night on the phone. She was trying to like pick him up, and he didn't want to go home or something like that. So that's pretty unfortunate.
Yeah.
But he ended up ingesting the patches.
I see.
So he like sucked on them.
I see. That's one way to do it.
Yeah, and they had a bit of a delayed reaction. So he ingested quite a few because he didn't feel anything, and then he didn't feel anything, and then he kept doing it.
He thought it didn't work.
Similar to the way that you'd like hit a bong and like you don't really feel it yet, and then you take another hit, you don't feel it yet, and then you're just like high off your ass. So it was a bit of a delayed reaction, and then he went home and to his mom's house, and he like smoked a cigarette, and I think like he made a sandwich from what I've heard, and then he went to sleep. And the next morning, we were all supposed to go to my younger brother's Memorial Day soccer tournament. But Evan, I guess his mom said that she went to wake him up and he was breathing, but there was like throw up next to him.
Yeah.
And then she went back to like get him, and then he wasn't breathing anymore.
Wow.
So the cause of death wasn't asphyxiation, like from his own vomit. It was like a full blown overdose, because by the time he like went to the hospital, he was basically brain dead.
Oh my God.
From the OD. But no one knew because what was going on or what that was from. They had no idea, because they were just assuming he was just smoking weed and drinking alcohol like normal kids were doing at the time. So he was rushed to the hospital, and then that's when my parents told me, I think he had an asthma attack. You know, they were obviously I would assume they were told more details.
Yeah.
Especially about like the vomit and stuff and what he was doing the night before. I didn't know any of that information at the time. And then they went to the hospital, and he was all plugged up in these machines, and my parents were like, "What's wrong with him? Like, he doesn't look like he didn't have a single scratch on his head."
Right.
And then the doctors were saying it's a, fentanyl overdose, and they didn't even know what that was. They had never even heard the word before.
Really?
Yeah. So they were Googling fentanyl in the hospital room.
Oh my God.
And then
basically
the doctor was just like, "Yeah, he's brain dead. He's all his organs, we can save a few of them. He was an organ donor, but he's dead. He's gone."
No way.
So my parents and his mom and his stepdad, collectively made the decision to just like pull the plug.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's kind of what happened there.
Yeah.
And to answer your question kind of about, I don't even know if you asked this, but this is just more context.
Go ahead, ask.
He wasn't, this was a one-off thing with fentanyl.
Sure.
But I guess he was having a little bit of trouble just acting out before that.
I see.
He had gotten a couple DUIs.
Oh, okay.
He, there was an instance where my mom and him had the same sweatshirt, and my mom put on his sweatshirt by accident and stuck her hands into the pocket and found a bunch of weed. And then searched his car, and he had more weed in there. So it was like, okay, maybe he's selling this. Like, it's too much for just one person.
Sure.
So I think he was testing the limits, and he was exploring with that stuff, but his grades weren't slipping. He had a normal social life. He was still playing soccer.
Yeah. On the surface, it seemed fine.
Yeah, and then he started getting the DUIs, and then there was a time where he got another ticket, and he like spit on the officer.
No way, dude.
Because he was like pissed, and then they threw the book at him, and I know that he did have to stay the night in jail, and my parents co-parenting with everyone, they're like, we don't want to bail him out. We want to teach him a lesson. Like, he has to sit there for the night because this is ridiculous. This is the third time like something like this has happened.
Right.
So I do believe it was the year prior to his death at 17 that last DUI happened, and then the judge ordered him to like court mandated, not rehab, but kind of like a junior rehab almost.
Yeah, because he's
he was a minor, and
it's different.
It was more like a troubled teens rehab kind of thing.
We have that at my work.
Yeah, so he went to Vermont for that program for like I think a couple weeks, and my dad drove up every weekend to go like work the program with him.
Oh, no way.
And I didn't know any of that until like probably like years after he
No
died.
way.
Yeah, because I wasn't old enough to like really digest that information. 10 years old. Yeah, so
that makes sense.
He was starting to explore. It kind of makes sense why he felt like he was invincible that night. But yeah, that was how he died, and it just flipped everything on its head.
That's so crazy.
Yeah,
that's so sad. Yeah, maybe it sounded like he was progressing into maybe that direction, right?
Yeah.
But man, I mean, that's just terrible that he just got taken like that.
Yes, very shocking.
You're right, absolutely.
Extremely shocking.
Right.
And each one of us kids were told in a different way. Like I remember the next day on May 10th when he officially died, we were picked up by family friends to go to my brother Michael's soccer games, and I don't know where my sister was. She was older, so she's probably like with friends or something. But I went to the field, and I remember getting there, and it's in my book actually, but I was sitting like at the edge of the field, where all the markers are, and I was just like playing with the grass, and I just remember feeling like I had such a disgusting sinking feeling in my chest, because I turned around and my mom and my dad were walking up to the group of parents there, and obviously all of the parents knew what was going on,
right.
And my mom was texting them updates, because of course they were, and
right.
They were all, I just remember watching them all like really slowly hug each other and like really long embraces, to the point where like my mom and my dad's like faces were like tucked into like the neck of whoever they were hugging, and they were not letting go.
Yeah.
So I'm not stupid,
right. You knew something happened.
I knew something happened, and I just turned back around and just continued to like pluck this grass. And I just remember like tears welling up in my eyes, and just so much so that I just couldn't see anything.
Right.
And I didn't even have confirmation at that point. I just knew in like my heart that something was bad.
Yeah, something in the air.
And they didn't want to let me go the rest of the day without saying anything. And they also couldn't handle it either. They just lost their son. So we went to the parking lot of the soccer game in front of like all these kids from my school. And they sat me. I was in the passenger side of the car in the front seat. And I think it was my mom on the driver's seat, and my dad was he had the door open of the passenger side, but he was standing like kind of in the middle to block out people from seeing inside the car, kind of thing. And then that's when they told me that he had died. And I just remember like instant tears, just being like, no, just so devastated. And it was, I don't fault my parents for doing it in a public place. I would have much rather known right then and there. But that's where I found out, which was in a public parking lot with all the kids from my school.
That's so
and their
crazy.
Parents. So people didn't know it made the news, and it was a really big deal at the time.
Right, absolutely.
So they knew eventually, and again, small affluent town, people talk. So a lot of assumptions were made about the circumstances of his death and what kind of kid he was, without really knowing anything.
Right.
But I just remember feeling like super embarrassed too, because I was melting down in this parking lot and kids didn't know why. So it looked like I was throwing a tantrum at 10. Like I was too old for that, But actually I was learning like a, life-changing piece of news.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's such a,
yes.
It reminds me a lot of, so I guess to backtrack on just a little bit of my life.
Yeah.
My dad died when I was 10.
Okay. Yeah, 10.
Yeah, it's not a good.
Lucky. What is this number?
No, it's terrible. Terrible number. My dad died in 2000, and we found out. Well, I got the news, because God, I'm trying not to take up too much time of this.
No, that's okay.
But anyways, so I lived up the street from here when I was a kid.
Okay.
And we lived right next to my uncle.
Yeah.
So I was with my dad the day that he died, earlier in the day. And then I told my dad, like, hey, I'm going to go hang out at Alex's house with my uncle. And then I'm going to come right back. or I'm going to come back the following day. And my dad's like, okay. And he was already sick. And so my dad had his struggles.
Okay.
As well.
Yeah.
Not to maybe the extreme of me.
Yeah.
But he had his struggles. And it just caught up to him. And he died of a heart attack.
Oh, man.
So the next day, my mom, broke the news, and it was just like, oh my God, like my life's like forever changed.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for your loss. It's crazy how fast it can happen.
Yeah, just like that.
In a matter of minutes, seconds.
Yeah.
Like everything you thought you knew has changed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that reminded me a lot of my dad's loss. But what was it like going back to school and all that?
Oh man, so fucking rough. Yeah. I mean, kids were already, kids are nasty.
Kids are nasty as fuck.
They're really mean.
Yeah.
And I was entering 5th grade at the time. So I heard a lot of things kids would say, and they would say it to my face at school. Like they would be like, "Oh, I heard you killed your brother."
Yeah.
Oh, well, I heard it was a car accident. Actually, one of the family friends that I was with, I don't speak to them anymore. Not because of this, just over the years it has faded out. But one of their daughters I was with that day going to the soccer field, she was like, "Oh, I heard it was pills," like telling me that before anything happened. Which is absolutely insane for her to say. Right. And she was 13, so she's just being a total
bitch.
Yeah. I hate to say it, but she was. Yeah. Keep your mouth shut. Let the parents tell the kids that if that's something. Anyway.
Right.
So that was kind of the treatment I got from kids at school. And they were reading like the obituary, or their parents would ask, or they'd hear their parents talking about it in like their kitchen. And ironically too, or I guess just lucky, the DARE program was starting at my school. God. Yeah. Which is like drug awareness resistance education, I think is the acronym.
Yes. I'm very familiar with DARE.
Yeah. So I was starting DARE. And it was about like 6 months after my brother had died from an overdose.
I see.
So I remember being in like my 5th grade classroom and people talking, mentioning the word drug. And already, like if you mentioned the words like boobs, sex, drugs, in 5th grade, eyes go wider and people like snicker and laugh because it's just the age group you're in.
Right.
But I remember like everyone's head turning and like looking at me in the classroom. And that was a terrible feeling. And so my guidance counselors and my teachers were like, you don't need to participate in this. Like, no, you're good. So I got to withdraw from the class.
Oh shit.
When we were doing the DARE stuff and just kind of go and like hang out with guidance counselors and do something else, or like go play outside, because quite frankly, I had my drug education already.
You were educated enough.
Yeah. In 7th grade, when we were still doing DARE stuff, I remember sitting through it and like you kind of got to like pick which sessions you wanted to attend. And so I liked that. And I focused more on like struggles of a young woman and like body dysmorphia stuff. I remember like going to some really impactful sessions on that. I stayed away from like the drug side.
I see.
But in 5th grade, I remember making that decision to not participate, and kids, ate that up. But yeah, I think because it was such a public forum that all this was happening in. It was in the papers.
All the town
was
knows.
A criminal case against the person who sold it. He was 19 and he was convicted and he served 10 or 15 years.
Wow.
Yeah, he like recently got out. I like searched on Facebook.
Actually. No way.
I was curious to see.
Yeah.
And different members of my family have different opinions on him.
Absolutely.
Which is totally fair.
Yeah, right.
I was talking to my mom about it recently, and she was like, yeah, like I'm very angry at him still. Like, fuck that. Right. But for me, I'm like, okay, well, no one forced Evan to take it.
Right.
So like for my grief and my healing, I choose to just, forgive it. It happened. You can't go back and take it away. Yeah. He served his time. Who knows what he thinks and feels in his heart every day.
Right.
He has to live with that. Whether or not he thinks about it or not, that's on him for the rest of his life.
Absolutely.
And, he probably doesn't live like, he has a life now, which Evan does not have.
Yeah.
But his life is forever changed too. And
Absolutely.
He is a convicted felon, and like,
Right,
you know, who knows what opportunities he lost because of that terrible decision too.
Right, absolutely.
So I tend to look at it a little bit more like 50-50.
Yeah. And that's fair. And that's fair.
Yeah, that's just my personality though. Like just balancing the scales, because that loss was just so unfair. And loss in general is unfair, you know, and you already feel like so much is taken from you. And I was so angry for so long. I went through the roller coaster, and I feel like anger is just a top layer emotion. There's just always sadness beneath anger, or disappointment and hurt. Yeah. So I just chose, that's the way that I view that. But, I just started kind of owning the narrative of my life. At that age. I was starting to have these more adult conversations and Googling things on my own. In my household, dealing with grief, just listening to like my parents break down and like watching my dad start to spiral out of control with alcohol.
Oh, that's right.
Everyone was handling it differently, and I chose to start therapy at that age, and I've been in therapy for 15 years.
Really?
So I think that really changed the game for me with grief.
I see.
I had the tools, even though it's not perfect, I was working through it and have worked through it consistently when it comes up at this point. Which has been like a lifesaver as an adult.
Absolutely.
Because my younger brother's grief didn't really hit him until his teens.
Really?
So for a while, it was just kind of like not a thing. And then when he turned 16, 17, 18, he like completely crashed out and had like a really terrible time.
Because he didn't get it taken care of earlier.
Yeah, and he was 3 years younger than me. So like think about what you remember at 7.
Yeah, right.
It's tough. So I have empathy for him on that one. But
is he doing much better about it now?
Yeah, we were actually together yesterday. He, I think, has a lot more to do in that area, but he has the self-awareness now to be like, I was acting out in high school because I was grieving like just horrifically. Yeah. So it's interesting what grief will do to you. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I definitely didn't handle mine the best.
There's no handbook for it. Like all those books are bullshit. except mine.
Not how to reset when shit happens. Shit hits the fan. Sorry.
No. It's hard. Like you can read all the self-help you want and listen to all the podcasts and do all the things, but like part of that is you have to feel it. You just have to. And just not let it take over completely. But that's been the hardest part.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I'm imagining too that growing up later on in life, especially because you kind of came down here in San Diego, a beautiful city, but also a city full of
full of fentanyl.
Full of fentanyl. I'm trying not to say that, man, but it is what it is.
I can say it.
There was a legit fucking article my buddy wrote about it. The flood about the floods of fentanyl going on. So it's a very real thing.
Yeah, in college there was like a bad batch of cocaine sold to someone, and 6 people died from it, including the dealer, because it was laced with fentanyl. And I just remember, even like when I started to experiment with like smoking weed and drinking, I'm not like a big weed smoker, but I tried it back then. And, I do like to drink. Like I'm aware that I'm predisposed to certain like addictive tendencies.
Sure.
But I do love it socially. But I've noticed like when I'm in a bad place in my life, like I try to avoid substance use.
It's
just
great idea.
In general, because I could see it going off the rails, and I've seen it happen time and time again with other people in my family. Obviously, Evan's situation was the big catalyst, but with grief, it's like that's the moment things change, but that everything else from that moment continues to unfold differently than it would have, because you're grieving not only that person, but you're grieving the version of you that could have been, the version of them that could have been, and the version of everyone else in your family that could have been. It's the could haves, it's the would haves that like really kill you with grief. And it changes everyone, and you can't force people to grieve differently or grieve the same as you. And I was seeing things kind of blow up. So I was very mindful of like my substance use in college and partying. I did try cocaine like here and there, and I was very I was surprised how easy it was for me to like try it, because I thought I would be like, I'm really terrified.
Mm-hmm.
But I wasn't, and it was tested. So I tried it like once or twice.
Oh, really?
It didn't really do anything for me, and I don't really see the point in doing it, to be honest. So,
well, that's good.
But yeah, I'll admit I definitely tried that.
Yeah.
And that like scared the shit out of my mom.
Right.
You know, and
anything.
yeah.
Right.
And my mom was a helicopter mom after my brother's death.
That makes sense.
It makes sense. It was annoying at the time, but it makes sense now.
Right. Get back off.
Yeah, and I said that in the book. So, Mom, if you're listening to this, you know we've already talked about this many times.
We already brought it up.
Yeah, and I've done like Molly and stuff too.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so it's
never got a chance to try it.
Yeah, I mean,
I got clean sober, so I never tried it.
And I don't do it anymore. But I would be lying if I said I didn't experiment with certain things too. But
well, I think that's part of being growing up and as a person.
It's such an interesting dichotomy, though, because it's like one would think that someone who lost someone to substance use would be like totally sober and steer clear. But I was also my own person. I was also a teenager. I was also experimenting. Right. Like my brother's death profoundly impacted me, but it wasn't a fixture in my mind 24/7. Like that's the part of grief too that I have become more friendly to, I guess, is I live with it every day, but it's not all consuming anymore. And I have to like make my own mistakes. Obviously, I don't want to make mistakes like he made or grave mistakes like that, but I'm still a kid. I was still a teen, still a young adult. I'm an adult woman. You know, I am entitled to make my own mistakes in my life. Not everything has to like ladder up to Evan. Yeah. So that was interesting. But yeah, I definitely see kids. I say kids, but they're like in their 30s. I see like some of my loved ones and friends and stuff like still kind of doing the cocaine thing, and I hate that. Yeah, you know, I hate seeing.
Just wish better for them.
Just because I want better for them, and it's out of love and fear. Right. You know, I've done it, but I did it once or twice, and that was it. That was it. But knowing what I know and having volunteered on the streets and doing things like this with you and hearing other people's stories, it's like you just never know, and it takes the littlest drop to fuck you up. Yeah. And actually, there was a family friend of ours, like 2018, I think, back east, and he struggled with heroin addiction.
I see.
And he sadly got his girlfriend hooked on it as well. So they were just in a codependent situation, both using. And I think she was starting to break away from him and starting to get clean. And he ended up getting like some cocaine, and he broke a streak of sobriety and then overdosed and died from fentanyl OD in the coke. And he was actually staying at his like best friend's house at the time on the couch, and they had just had a baby. And so the best friend came downstairs and found his body on the couch and all this powder everywhere. And so they had to like, I don't know what you call it, but fentanyl is so potent. They just had a newborn baby in their house. They had to like tent the living room and fumigate it. It was just this whole fucking thing. So I just feel like every year since Evan's passing, there's just always another connection, sadly.
Right.
Yeah.
It's sad. It's definitely it's not getting better.
Yeah, and part of why I love doing these types of things, and part of why I wrote my book, I've always been an open book. I think too, it harkens back to this happening so publicly. Right. I just kind of owned what was going on. Yeah. And there was no hiding from it. And I would rather have a teachable moment and like break the stigma of substance use and addiction issues. Absolutely. And also the topic of mental health, because although I don't think Evan was an addict, I do think he was struggling with his mental health. And a lot of people start using because of their mental health or their self-esteem.
It's usually, hand in hand.
It's I'm generalizing. Yeah, obviously, every situation's different, but that is
typically though
what I've seen. And like for me, I'm like, when I'm in a bad place, it's like, okay, I need to avoid those things because that's just not healthy for me to avoid my feelings and things. But I think that's also why I've just been more public and open, and I want to change the conversation around these types of issues. Yeah. And the world is kind of following. Like our generation is like slowly changing it. There's a lot of work to be done, but
absolutely
nothing will change if we're not talking about it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
that's why I'm doing this.
Yeah, exactly. You know. Yeah.
And it's so funny too, because when I first started my brand, I was I had a little part-time job down the street right here.
Yeah.
I won't say where it is,
Okay.
but just down here. And I worked with a lot of youngsters.
Yeah.
And for me, I thought, this whole brand, fuck fentanyl, was gonna hit like, maybe just hit home to like people that were like my generation, that kind of like, were like they did the whole epidemic of pills, heroin, and then they got into fentanyl. I kind of categorized it as that. But I started working with youngsters, in high school, or just got out of high school.
Yeah.
And it's crazy how much it hits them even more.
Yeah.
Because their generation, the guys growing up, they're the ones that really got affected the most, because they don't even get that experimentation phase that that we went through.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's like it's just straight up like, you might die.
Which is so fucked.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, because this isn't a new concept. Like, my parents were experimenting with drugs back in the day.
Right.
You'll hear older people say, like, oh, it was so pure back then. It was clean, and now everything is synthetic and fucked with, and chemicals and pills and powder, and just all these different things. So yeah, that's quite terrifying.
Yeah.
Do you know if this area is one that struggles? Like, on my drive-in, I saw a lot, like some high schools and stuff. I wonder, do you work with any of those kids who go to high school there or have in the past?
I have a lot of them attend right here at Castle Park.
Okay.
But some Hilltop, which is the high school I went to.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm gonna keep it a little real. We live in a rough part of town a little bit, so it's just typical that when you're that young, you want to go out and drink and
of course
and smoke some bud and kind of experiment. You're socializing with girls and stuff, and you're trying to figure that out.
When did your drug use start?
Mine, well, I drank when I was 13.
Okay.
And then I started smoking. Well, my first alcohol experience was just a couple beers, nothing crazy. But probably when I was going to Hilltop, I started smoking weed and drinking a little bit, or drinking more. And then my whole thing with alcohol was I would steal them from the stores, in mass, and then I just like, hey guys, let's have a good time. It's a Wednesday, let's not go to school, let's just drink, and I think it's dumb. So and I know a lot of kids around here are kind of like that. They kind of follow suit to that, like let's not go to school today. Let's just, just have a good time. Let's go to like the beach, or like go to a movie or something.
Yeah. Like what, I guess, because I mean, I grew up in a small town, so there wasn't a lot to do other than like go to the outlet mall, see a movie, can go hike and shit, but then, you're done with that in like an hour.
Yeah, right.
And so what people would do would just like kick it in like their parents' basements.
And,
like, play video games and crack some beers and like do whatever. Was that kind of similar to growing up in this area?
Pretty similar.
Yeah,
pretty similar.
When I moved here, I'm like, oh my god, there's so much to do. But when you're a teenager, I think not really. You don't have like that freedom, obviously.
Some restrictions here and there.
Yeah,
but for the most part, I mean, you can you're like in paradise. You can just like,
you really are.
You know
here.
what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know how I would have fared if I lived here.
It's so easy to get ingrained in that culture.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so like so a lot of the kids like how I was, and kids who I worked with, it's like they really can't have like that fun experience. Not as worry free, I guess. At the very least,
yes.
You gotta have that Narcan on you. You gotta like test your shit.
Totally.
You know what I mean? It like it's life or death.
Yeah,
man,
no, it is, and
it's sad.
I think it's just naive of parents to assume like, oh, they're never going to try something.
Exactly.
You know, we have to like
That's
look
not
at
realistic.
the pattern, like generationally, majority do
Yeah,
try.
right.
And in the US too, with like alcohol binge rates and just the way that we treat substance abuse and mental health as a whole as a society.
Yeah.
I think too, it's like the forbidden fruit phenomenon.
Sure.
Like kids want to like try the thing that they absolutely are told not to do.
Right.
But now it's even more dangerous, like to your point, because of what's out there.
Yeah.
And it's actively taking lives.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And also my point too, I'll bringing that up is at least these youngsters, they definitely do not want to do fentanyl.
That's
good.
I mean? That's
It's all like good.
Hope.
Good
That's
for you
amazing.
guys, man.
Yeah, I
what
hope
I mean?
that they're being like scared straight.
Right.
And whatever
at that
is
least.
being shown in schools
Yeah.
for like their DARE programs.
Right.
I hope that it's like just anti. I think that's what it is. And like even the people I know who are still like doing coke, they're terrified of fentanyl. I'm like,
Good.
oh, but like, look what you're doing.
Yeah.
You know, so I try not to judge too hard. It's just out of concern and just making sure they're testing their shit if they're gonna do it.
Right.
And I've gone to a lot of festivals too where everyone like has Narcan on them.
That's awesome.
You know, even like not even just like my group, because I haven't like rolled or done anything like that in a while.
Yeah.
But
you just see it.
The people around me. Yeah, and like the crowds. You can like see it and you're aware of when people are like doing shit. And it's at least nice to see like the EMTs and stuff who are on the scene.
Right.
They're not questioning anyone who's like passing out. You know, they want to just help and treat it quickly if something is going down.
Absolutely. Yeah, because I love going concerts. And
it's like one of my favorite pastimes. I've gone to so many.
Yeah, so it's like, I get, people want to have a good time. I don't get mad when people get fucked up. It's like, hey,
you have to approach it really realistically.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
Because I know some people, especially, more when you're early in recovery.
Yeah.
When you're, you think the world is revolved around yourself in that. It's not, the world's going to do its thing.
Totally.
And you're just a part of it.
What is, part of it. I guess, one of the biggest lessons you've learned in recovery?
Ooh, that's a really good question. Because I'm trying to tell it to somebody that's not in it. So, you learn patience, a lot of patience. The big thing they want to teach you, particularly like let's say Alcoholics Anonymous, is acceptance.
Yeah.
There's actually it's a very famous verse that gets quoted, and some weirdos even tattoo it on them. But it's like a little page, or not a page, like half a page.
Yeah.
Of just all about acceptance, and that's one thing I definitely have learned as well. But I learned to live in integrity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was very selfish when I was growing up, and I just want to do what I want to do and whatever I want,
Yeah.
So, learning to, kind of, what's the right word for this? Like fucking, rewire my brain, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Into like, hey, like I know where this is going to go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I got to do something different.
Totally.
To get different results.
That pattern recognition.
Yes.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah. But that's about it. I mean,
I'm sure there's so much more.
There's so much more, obviously, but you just keep it simple. You know what I mean?
I mean, I've heard my dad mention things from AA and the program and what has worked for him.
Yeah.
He was like using his workbook like every night and was going like twice a day for a while to the meetings, and I think it's great. Like I live in North PB, but there's an NA meeting by my house in a halfway house too.
Oh, no way.
So I do see like people hanging out, and a lot of them are a little bit younger looking.
For sure.
I don't know their age for sure, but they look like around my age, or your age,
20,
our age, I should say, 20s, 30s. But another question I had for you was,
what is it?
How have you approached dating?
Ooh.
Sober? Because I've been on the apps, and I went on a date with someone who was a recovering heroin addict.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and that was a first for me.
Uh-huh.
And
How long was he clean and sober?
Oh, years.
Okay.
But he was still actively working like the program and going to AA.
Okay.
He was at the point where he was, I wouldn't say he was a sponsor, but he was mentoring people in the program. Sure. So he was very much involved. And on his Hinge, it said he was sober, like, but now there's a lot of like new age sober people who like don't even drink alcohol, and not because they have any kind of addiction. They just don't want to.
Yes.
So I didn't think anything of it, and whatever, that's cool.
Yes.
But when we were on our first date, we were talking about it, and he was like, "Oh, I was like, "Oh, so you don't drink?" And he was like, "I'm actually in recovery."
Okay. And
so we had that conversation.
Yeah.
We hung out a couple times after that, but I felt like my lifestyle and his lifestyle like wouldn't align.
I see.
Ultimately, and it was around the 4th of July, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm really excited to go to like the beach."
Yeah, beach, have some beers, and
he didn't mind that I was like drinking, but I was thinking like, okay, would a partner of mine like want to be at this with my friends who are all drinking? Like, yeah, so it was a really interesting experience. I don't look at it in a negative way. It was a great time hanging out with him, but I just felt like we weren't going to be aligned. And
yeah, because that makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah, and for him too. Like he was like, "Yeah, I was actually thinking about it, and I don't know if we would like be a good match." Yeah,
I feel it.
Yeah,
it's hard, man. Because I've done both. I typically don't want to date somebody that's in recovery because a lot of women in recovery have a lot of issues, and it comes out after. Like most of them are like, it's easy for me to be friends.
Totally.
It's very easy because we get along. We have like the same sense of humor and all that. We click, but like when it comes to actually spending time with somebody, and then like you just see a lot of their behaviors and their a lot of the stuff will just come out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then a lot of people struggle with codependency and that's it's a whole other like
a whole other enchilada.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And it's like, so that's why I typically try not to date anyone in recovery.
Yeah.
And when I went out with I'm trying to think of the last one.
To be fair too, people who are not in recovery have issues
as well. Yeah, as well. Yeah. As well.
To like defend the people. Yes, everyone has their own.
Everyone has problems. Everybody has their own problems. Everyone's at their own pace.
I could see it potentially accelerate, the codependency piece.
Yes. That's definitely a thing.
And that's what he was saying too. He was saying like he's had experiences with women who were in the program, who were not. Like he's tried it all, and he hasn't like quite found like the Goldilocks like perfect halfway part. But I think it exists.
No, for sure.
Yeah, it definitely exists. For sure. It just takes some time.
I think everyone's just gonna find their own person.
Exactly. And what were you saying too?
Oh yeah. So and I was like, I have dated women are normal.
Yeah.
Normal.
I know what you mean.
You know what I mean. The last one, it was kind of, it ended a little painful because I wasn't ready to open up completely, like on date one.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I used to shoot up a lot of fucking heroin, and I went to jail a bunch of times. I'm involved with gangs when I was young. Yeah. I never said, you know what I mean? That was just not my thing. I just was we were just like kind of clicking a little bit, and then I did say that I am sober and I don't drink. So I did say that, like, so there was like a little bit of like, hey, that's just not my lifestyle. I and all that. But then my best friend died, and then I just up and said it, he died of an overdose. And so it was hard. It was a lot for her to take. And so I kind of dropped the ball on that in essence, not being completely straightforward. We were dating for like a couple months.
Okay.
So, so once that happened, and then that all came out, and I was grieving. I was in pain. I was hurt.
Yeah, and that's gonna fuck you up. Yeah, that's for a minute. Yeah,
it makes fucking it
makes things so hard.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that's pretty much was the last time I dated someone that had no affiliation with recovery and all that.
Yeah.
But I just believe that you're gonna find somebody. You're gonna find your person. You know what I mean?
100%. It's just an interesting conversation to have.
It is. Yeah. No, it is interesting because it's like really there is no cookie cutter explanation.
Yeah.
I could tell. So let's make this fun. Yeah. So I could tell like when there's like two people in recovery that are just totally like fucking sick and like and they're you know it's gonna end bad.
It's gonna end in flames.
You know what I mean? But it happens all the time. I see it all the time, and it's just like wow, you guys know this is bad, but you're just gonna do it anyways, and then you're gonna break your hearts, and then you don't want to see each other, and then now you can't even go to your own meetings anymore because you can't stand to look at each other.
Do you see people like flirting and stuff at meetings?
All the time. All the time. My uncles used to do it all the time too.
To be a fly on the wall, that would be really fascinating.
Yeah.
I mean, because I like none of my friends and men that I've been involved with that I knew of since that one person that I went on a couple of dates with have had like addictions in any way, but majority at least one of their parents is an alcoholic.
Damn.
Which is really interesting.
That is crazy.
So yeah, and I think like because of the experiences I've had in my family and some of the things that I've done just in the community and like the way that I seek to educate myself around some of these things and you know, addicts are people. It's a disease. Yes. It's a thing that happens, and I think that we should be treating it completely just differently than how the U.S. treats it specifically.
No, yeah. I know exactly.
Yeah, and just from a societal level. So I'm definitely more open, but I do know friends who would be like, whoa. Like, I feel as if some of them may not even know how to speak to people in recovery because they have such a stigma in their minds. But I'm like, whoa, but like, look at your parents or whoever you know. It's different, but it's similar. And they're just people. And we're all just trying to figure it out day by day, you know? And even some of the most successful people I know, you know, they've had years where they were really down on their luck and they're a couple decisions away from being in the same boat, you know? It's like, it's a thing that could affect anybody at any time.
Absolutely.
You never know. So yeah, when it comes to dating, I try to be open-minded, but also be realistic about what would actually work.
Right. Like, you know, because you don't want to, I guess you don't want to like, you know, ruin what they got going on.
No.
You know
and
what I
I'm
mean?
like, with that one example, I was so like, he answered every single question that I had, which I really appreciated. Even like the really dark shit, he answered it all. And in the real like heavy throes of his addiction, like all the stealing he did and the things that he did to like fuck over his family, and he just the crazy like withdrawal stories he was telling me and so he was such an open book, and I've always appreciated that. And I was also an open book back to the things he asked me. But I think realistically, like with the lifestyle I live and the things I want to do, I'd want someone to like be able to join in on that stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but not too crazy.
Not too crazy. Don't take it over.
Yeah, not too crazy.
Party after.
Definitely not.
So for I guess so for you, you probably would not date somebody that is like completely clean and sober.
No, I mean, I love that they're making those decisions for themselves, but I think it just depends too. Like if they want to come out and it doesn't bother them, and but I also like to drink, so and like occasionally I'll do like chocolate mushrooms.
Oh shit!
Very occasionally, and it's like a little piece.
And microdose.
Yeah, it's a microdose, and it's often in lieu of alcohol at like a concert, and it's like the great benefits, but none of the like hangover or anxiety or any of that. And I still treat it like, you know, Uber, you know, I'm not gonna ever drive on that stuff as small as it is, you know. So I still do things like that. So I think realistically I'd want someone who has like a beer or two. Doesn't need to get like wasted to have fun, but could join in if they felt like it. So I'm not totally against sobriety at all. I think like sober curious people would fit my lifestyle really well. Like some who are like, like I live a damp lifestyle, not an entirely wet one. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like they're not trying to come home and have like a cocktail every day after work.
Right.
That to me is a little excessive.
Yes.
And I just drink socially. I like never ever pour a glass of wine or anything by myself. I just have never really had the interest.
Yeah.
I just drink socially. And sometimes I drink a lot when I'm with like my friends just having fun.
But that's normal.
So
though.
I think like someone who matches that lifestyle.
I see.
For me.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I know that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because you just, it's like, you know, it's all about the wavelength.
Yeah. And my dad is sober and my mom like feels like she can have drinks when she wants, but she's never really been a huge drinker either.
Yeah.
So it really works well for them now. So yeah, I don't know. I'm open, but I definitely have a vision of what that would look
absolutely.
like. Yeah,
absolutely.
for sure.
And just like I think, just like anybody, you know, you're gonna have you're gonna want a certain something.
Yeah.
But you know, it's not until you actually end up, you know, spending time with that person till you really know.
And same goes for weed too.
I
don't smoke weed, but I feel like guys I've dated in the past have smoked like a lot of weed and they're just kind of like lazy. Also, like their breath smells weird.
weed breath.
Yeah, and they just, you know, alcohol is a really expensive habit too.
For sure,
like,
dude.
You go out to eat and your bill like, you know, 2X's, 3X's when you involve liquor, you know?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And same with marijuana. Like that shit's expensive and you know, you work hard for your money, you spend it how you want. But if I were in like a long-term relationship with someone, potentially seeing like a future with them, if they're just like spending hundreds of dollars on weed and alcohol, I'd be like, no, this isn't for me.
Come on, grow up a little bit, dude.
And it can turn people into like major couch potatoes too. So that's another thing that I'm like, I don't really like love it.
Yeah. I'm the same way. I like to go out. I like to do stuff.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I mean? Don't want to just, you know, be like that commercial with that person's all melted. Just,
like the deflated. Yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah. That was on like every other commercial growing up.
Right. That and the egg and this is your brain.
Yeah, literally. Or the chick with like the hole in her neck.
Oh God, yes. Yeah. I remember that one.
Yeah, same for cigs too. Like my mom smokes cigarettes and I hate that habit. I've ripped a cigarette here or two, but you know, when you're buying packs, like I just think it's just not healthy.
I had a really bad cigarette habit. I had to quit.
Is that common, like for people in recovery?
Yes.
I've heard. They just like swap something with something else.
That's exactly what I did. 100%. Yeah. I got out of jail. I went to rehab. I smoked my first cigarette like 5 minutes free as a free man, and then it was just off to the races. And my homeboy told me, "Don't smoke that," and I was already halfway through. I'm like, "Whatever, dude. It's just a cigarette."
Yeah.
And that was the 2 years of a pack a day habit.
Damn. And do you smoke anymore?
No, I had to quit. I don't even vape.
Yeah, vaping is terrible for you too. There's a bunch of teens in like hospital beds with like collapsed lungs and shit from vaping. It's fucking awful. Yeah.
I know. I see people hit that shit like their oxygen.
Yeah.
And it's crazy.
It's bad.
Like,
yeah. I guess if anything, if you're gonna smoke cigarettes to like stay clean and sober.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Everyone has a vice.
Exactly.
But
it was nice that it was around.
Yeah.
But I saw it being a problem.
Totally.
And I had to do something.
Good on you though, because that shit will ruin your health.
I know.
On top of everything else.
I know. I had already pushed my body to the limits.
A little bit bionic though, for sure.
Yeah, like, you know, and it's funny. I was really, really unhealthy when I first got clean and sober. Like in jail, I would work out and stuff like that. But like, once I hit the streets, I got lazy. I just started smoking all the time. Well, I mean, I always worked and I mean, I was productive, but like my health, but I wasn't taking care of myself at all.
What were you in jail for?
Oh, so this is funny. The laws were very different in 2000. What would I call my case? 2010.
Okay.
So if you get caught with a little bit of drugs, it was considered a felony, and it was a 16 2 or 3 offense.
Whoa.
And if you don't have like a lawyer to like you sweeten the bargain, you're fucked.
Yeah.
And so I had 4 of them.
Ooh.
I had 4 felony possession charges.
Oh, what did you possess?
Well, the first time was a half gram of heroin.
Okay.
So it was like a balloon. It was nothing.
And how did you get caught? I have a lot of questions.
No, it's fine. I might have mentioned I used to hang out with gangs and stuff like that. So a lot of my friends were also, so they were active gang members, and they were using not fentanyl, heroin and meth.
Okay.
And then so one of them had just got out of prison, and we all wanted to celebrate his release. So
naturally,
so we brought in he had meth, but I didn't like meth for the most part, so I brought the heroin.
Yeah.
And we were all just like trying to have a good old time in his bedroom at his grandma's house. And then he got really twacked out, and he decided to go smoke a cigarette outside, but he saw just a random police car just was driving, just patrolling, not doing anything.
Yeah, not looking for anything
not
specific.
looking for anything specific. But
Yeah.
this guy freaked the fuck out, and he ran.
Oh no.
Yeah, so when he was running, he went straight inside his grandma's house into his bedroom, and he just goes, "The hulas are here. You guys gotta get the fuck out." And we're like in the middle of getting high and cooking our shot, and I was like, "Fuck, okay." And then I dropped my stuff, and we just like jumped out of his like little bathroom window. I was so small, so it was easy for me, but like, so we did that. We're running, and then the cops were like fucking driving and looking for Ghost, and he couldn't. They got him, like he ran away like on the other side, like he went through the other side of his house, and me and my other buddy, we went through the back part, and my buddy like jumped into a puddle to hide.
Oh my god!
And then,
but all of this because he got paranoid.
Yeah, he got paranoid.
Yeah.
He burned us out. That's all it was. And then they caught me at the baseball field, and I only had a half gram of heroin, but that was enough to be a 16-2-3 felony. And then and it caused like this chain reaction of keep getting arrested because I don't have a Fourth Amendment right. So I got busted. I don't remember how much I had the second time, but I just remember the last time I got busted, it was only a needle. But the needle had like traces of heroin. They're like, "Oh, that's a felony."
Whoa.
Yeah, I was like, "What?"
Yeah.
And then so they were trying to give me 4 years.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah.
And then I was like, "What? 4 years? This is nothing. Like, there's people that stab people that get less time than this. It's crazy."
Yeah.
And I was so pissed. I was like going to court. I was going to. They wanted me to sign for a drug court program. I was like, "Fuck that! I'm not signing that shit." Like.
So then you did time instead.
I did a little bit of time, and then so instead of doing the full 4 years, I signed for a county year, and they released me early to a program.
Okay.
So I only had to do like 3 months in jail, and then they released me to a county funded program, and I did the remainder of my time in that program.
Okay.
But I stayed clean since then.
Nice.
That was the last time that was March 5th, 2013.
Hell yeah.
That was it.
Look at you.
Yeah,
You're doing it.
Yeah. Yeah, because I was done. I not at first, but after a few months.
It takes a second. Yeah.
Took me a while.
Yeah.
But I was like, you know what? I'm done.
Better late than never, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. You did it.
I cut ties with all pretty much almost all my friends, and then I just started from the bottom.
Yeah. Rebuilding. Yeah.
But that's in a nutshell is what.
Yeah, that's another thing I've like watched a lot of documentaries on and read a lot about is just kind of like the system in general and how it's like set up. And obviously like I'm a white woman from New Hampshire, like some of the stereotypes and things like do or don't apply, but I've learned a lot about the community and just like systemic racism and oppression. And
I was a perfect target.
And they weaponize like certain things against certain communities, and they weaponize obviously the system against like addicts and people in recovery.
Yeah,
it's not set up to like rehabilitate anyone. It's made to like keep you down, low, sick in the system. Yeah. A slave to it, basically.
And I was.
Yeah. It's really fucked.
That's why I was a very bitter man in
of course.
In the court when we were doing this. I was like, this is a bunch of bullshit. Like, you guys don't give a fuck about me, and you just want to play around, with all these little deals.
Right, and it's it's also like the, white collar crimes and these like, I've seen instances too in my hometown where kids would like really fuck up, but then their like rich white dad would like come in and bail them out and like kind of keep it hush hush. You wouldn't really ever hear about it. You get it expunged, and it's just not the same game.
No, there was literally a situation just like that in county jail. Or
it's fucked.
I don't remember his name, but he was like a small white kid, and he had a gun and an ounce of heroin, not a half gram, an ounce.
Holy shit.
And he got 6 months, not a county year.
Whoa.
Yep, that happened.
Yeah, you're no stranger to this, but I just, that's this type of stuff like people like me need to be aware and educated on, I think.
Yeah, and honestly, and when I first got clean and sober, there was definitely a little bit of spite. Like, well, look,
for sure.
If I'm not fucking up and you guys don't have me no more,
I don't blame you.
Yeah,
yeah.
So that was definitely a little bit of a motivator.
Totally. Yes. Yeah.
It's like I'm done with the system. I'm doing good. Like fuck you guys.
And I've heard a lot of the stories too from people in East Village that I've like worked with and spoken to, and I'm like volunteering and stuff. And I think it's Father Joe's housing over there. And I've also like spoken to a lot of the kids who were in that housing with their parents. And I think it's important to like learn their stories and hear like real life instances of this happening. Because in certain people's world, you just are not going to ever, if you don't seek it out, you're never going to know that. Yeah.
That's very true.
You can infer, but you may never know. Yeah.
That's very true.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you one more thing too.
Yeah, of course.
So, since the release of your book and all that, what are some of the things you also like to do with your time
besides talk about fentanyl? I'm big into working out and exercising. Nice. Not like to the point where it rules my world, but I love it. I love trying different things. It's also amazing for my mental health. Like if I don't move my body, I kind of go insane. Yeah. So I love that, and I've met a lot of friends through that community, and it just brings me a lot of joy. I read a lot. I have my Kindle that I'm just attached to. So I love that. Go to a lot of concerts, and everyone always says like, I love to travel. I actually hate the act of traveling. But I love to like go to new places.
But when you're you're there.
So I haven't done like a ton, but I've definitely had some amazing experiences. Like I started to really travel in college through my major. It was a graduation requirement to study abroad. So I went for a month to the Czech Republic, and
no way.
I'm going to Costa Rica next month.
Really?
Yeah, so I'm really excited. So I've had some really great trips, and I've seen part of the world already. So I'm excited to continue to do that, like well into my 30s and beyond. What else do I love? I mean, I'm a big movie lover.
Oh yeah.
I love watching movies with my roommates. We watch so many. I love TV. I have some guilty pleasures. I love The Real Housewives.
You do?
Yeah, the franchises.
Oh my god.
Yeah, a lot of people hate that and they shit on me for it, but I don't really care because it's amazing.
We all have
it's
that.
It's just so salacious and like it's just so dramatic. It just brings me like joy because it's just fun.
It's trash
because my life is really not that dramatic. right. And the opulence is just great, but so I do a lot of that. Obviously I'm like social with my friends and we go out here and there, but I don't live like a super exciting life, but
I mean it sounds a little exciting.
It's a great life. Yeah. And I work. So I work a 9 to 5. So I've written my book, and then I had the podcast we were talking about, like starting, stopping.
Oh, yes.
But I work in AI cybersecurity. So I do marketing. So that takes up a lot of my time too. But I do love my job, and I'm a big like career person. So I'm really passionate about that too.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really awesome.
Yeah.
You want to talk a little bit about your podcast that you...
Sure.
Yeah. What made you start it?
I just felt like I wanted to try a different modality than writing. Like I felt, okay, like I love listening to podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
I've been on a couple.
Yes.
It's so fun.
Yes.
And I want to hear other people's stories.
I see.
So I thought of it just as a natural extension of my book.
I see.
So I started the podcast, and then I was aiming to do like an episode a month. Mm-hmm. That didn't really happen. It was like every other month. And I got a couple interviews done, and then I did a couple solos. But basically, like, it stems just from sharing stories, building community, similar to kind of what your mission is. Just an extension of my book, like I said. And
that's really cool.
My book is not, it's made for anyone who wants to read it. But when I was writing it, it was a struggle because my editors were like, just pick a demographic and like write to them. Not everyone is going to understand you.
Right.
In any kind of art form, like even what you do with Fuck Fentanyl, like not everyone's gonna relate, and not everyone's gonna like it, and that's just a fact of life. So I just had to like stop overthinking it and write to like young women and younger versions of myself, and hope that it resonates. So that was kind of what I was aiming to do with my podcast, just talking about like body image and mental health, and interviewing other people like I really admire and kind of how they got from A to B. It was called Behind the Curtain.
I see.
It's still on Spotify and Apple Podcasts.
Nice. Well,
the production quality is probably not going to be as good as this podcast.
Oh, really? Oh, come on.
Because it's kind of shitty. But I was teaching myself how to do it, and I just didn't like fall in love with it the way I thought I would. And it is a lot of work. And so by the time I logged off of my 9 to 5, it was like, I don't want to sit in front of a computer for another 4 or 5 hours.
More work.
I kind of got a little lazy with it. But then I was like, you know what, Jen, it's always there for you to try again when you want. It's yours. And that's like the beauty of being creative and trying those things. So that's kind of the story with the podcast.
Ah, nice.
Yeah. Thanks for asking.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's really cool. I mean, if you ever need a guest, I'll be down.
Absolutely. Maybe this is my sign to start recording again.
That's awesome, man. And I guess like I guess we'll wrap it up with is there anything you feel like you need to do, because you're really big on honoring your brother.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that's really admirable.
Thank you.
You know what I mean? And I guess my final question for you is there anything else that you feel like you would like to do to continue his memory?
I think I just every day and with each year that passes, I just take a moment to be grateful for the life that I have. Like, life can change in a blink of an eye, and I just think like his loss and his passing taught me to just be more appreciative of life's ups and downs. It took me a second, but I've become like really at peace with his loss. Like, it's sad, and like I said earlier in the podcast, like I think it's more about the what could have been. But to me, like in another universe, I wrote this in a poem. Like, I think I said, in another universe, he's waking up on Christmas morning with his kids and his own family. Like, you know, so I believe that his soul and his energy is still with me, and it's exploring and seeing the world the way that he would have wanted to. And I just can't continue to live in the past. So I take what happened, and weirdly enough, I'm grateful for it. People who haven't gone through grief, and even people who have, like, everyone has different experiences with it. So this is where I'm at with my relationship with grief and what happened with Evan. I'm grateful for it because it made me the woman that I am. And as much as I wish he were here and I wish none of it happened, at the same time, I'm like, it gave me this brain and this perspective, and it definitely like enriched my soul. Like, it happened not by choice. I would have never chosen that, but it did, and there's nothing I can do. So I've just learned to be a bit more grateful for what it's taught me and just carry him with me. Especially, I'll be 28 next Thursday, and so I'll be 10 years older than he ever got to be. But he'll forever be my big brother. So I just think, like, also not doing everything with his loss at the center, because my life is also separate to his. So just living for me with him in mind, and just being grateful for what I've been given through the ups and downs. I think that's kind of what grounds me through my grief at the end of the day.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's fucking awesome. I relate a lot to what you said.
It's tough. It's a weird thing to try to explain.
It is.
And kind of reconcile in your brain. You're like, I should feel so sad.
Yeah.
This is fucked up, but it brought me here. And like, who knows what life path I would have taken.
Right.
Good or bad. You know, maybe I wouldn't even be sitting at this table.
Right.
You know, like I wouldn't have found my way out to San Diego, and I've built like such a lovely life here. So who knows? It's impossible to say, but I know that he's here and he's proud, and there's just a certain depth that you get from going through a loss.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
absolutely.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you so much again.
This was awesome.
Oh yeah.
And you let me yap, so thank you.
Fuck yeah. But you had a lot of good stuff to say.
Thanks.
And I appreciate it. And I appreciate you. And one more time, I mean, if anybody would like to get Jenn's book, it is How to Restart When Shit Hits the Fan.
Yes. If you type in recalibration on Amazon with Jenn Schwager, JENNSCHWAGER, it should pop up. I think the ebook is like $5.
Oh, there you go. Come on, man.
The hardcover or the paperback is like 12 or something. I don't even know at this point. But yeah, if you're interested, I appreciate the support, and thank you so much again for having me. This was great.
Awesome. Thank you. All right. Well, goodbye, everybody.